Hello, Sudoku friends, and welcome to a New York Times Hard Sudoku. Today is January 7, 2023. Let's see, one of these two cells will have to be a 3 because of the 3 and the 3 here blocking these 4 cells. There's a 4 here going down here, and there's a 4 going over here. So one of these two cells will have to be a 4, and therefore one of these two cells must be a 4 as well. And while I'm saying this, I can see that these two 7s block these 4 cells here, and the 7 up here blocks this cell. So therefore, this must be a 7. One of these must be a 3 because of the 3 here and here. Here's a mildly interesting pattern. Look at the 5, 8, and the 9 here. And now look at the 5, 8, and the 9 here. So in effect, this cell, this cell, this cell, and these two are all blocked from being a 5 and an 8. Therefore, these cells have to be a 5 and an 8 and a 9, except these two cells, of course, can't be a 5 due to the 5 here. So this is a 5. So these two now being an 8 and a 9, and we have an 8 and a 9 up here, that makes these two an 8 and a 9 combo. And because these two cells now have been taken by an 8 and a 9, and we've got this 7 here and this 7 here, this cell now must be a 7. And the 4 here blocks these cells, and the 4 here blocks these cells. So this is now a 4. And these two 4s, of course, now force a 4 to go up here in the top row. This 2 blocks these 3 cells here. And that means that one of these 2 cells must be a 2. And that leaves us a task to find a 2 for the top row. Since it can't go here, it must go in one of these 3 cells. And this cell is blocked by this 2. This cell is blocked by this 2. Therefore, this must be a 2. Because these two cells have to be an 8 and a 9, these two must be a 1 and a 6. I'm just now seeing that I don't have any 6s yet in the grid at all, but I'm noticing again that this 5 blocks this cell, this 5 blocks this cell, and therefore a 5 for row 8 must go either here or here. And that knowledge, in combination with the 5 here, puts a 5 in this cell right here, because this cell is blocked by the 5 up here in the 3rd row. A little earlier, I mentioned how a 4 would have to go here or here, didn't I? Because of the 4 blocking these 3 cells and the 4 here blocking these 2 cells. So a ghost 4 here or here, and this 4 puts a 4 either here or here, except it can't go here due to the 4 up here. So this is a 4. And these two 4s now put a 4 in this cell like so. And now we have a 4 blocking these 2 cells, and we have a 4 blocking these 2 cells. So remember what these 2 were? That's right, they were 5s. Now they're also 4s. Except this can't be a 4 due to the 4 here. Therefore, it must be a 5, and this is a 4. This 4 and this 4, and the 4 up here puts a 4 right here. And that puts a 4 here, because as we remember, one of these 2 cells will have to be a 4. And now this one can't due to the 4 here. The 9 here will force a 9 to go either here or here eventually. But I don't know what to do about the 6 and the 8 yet. But I can see that a 3 can't go here or here, therefore it must go here, because there's a 3 over here in the first column. So this is a 3. The other 3 digits necessary to complete row 8 is going to be a 2, 6, and an 8. Let's see. No, that still eludes me. Well, no, it doesn't, because of the 8 here blocking these cells. One of these must be an 8. And if that is the case, and I believe it is, And we have an 8 up here and an 8 here. This must be an 8. And now we just need to find a 2 and a 6. Unbelievable. I still don't have any 6s here except for a ghost 6 here and here. Oh well. But I know now that one of these two cells must be an 8. Why can't this be an 8, you ask? Good question. Because of an 8 here or here. We discussed that at length already. And because of this 8 and this 8, an 8 will have to go here or here. So if an 8 goes here or here and here or here, where could it go now in this column 2? It couldn't go here or here, right? So it has to go here or here. I think a 3 must go here. Let's see. We got a 3 here blocking these 3 cells. Therefore, a 3 for this box and for this row and for this column here must go here or here. And therefore, it can't go here, here, or here. And it can't go here either because of this 3. So this is a 3, and that makes this a 3 as well. As we recall, one of these two cells must be a 3 due to the 3 here and here, right? So that out of the way, let's see what else we can find. Well, there's a 3 here blocking these cells. And this 3 now blocks these 2 cells. And the 3 here blocks this cell. So this is a 3. What am I still missing now? I'm missing a 1, 6, and a 7 for these cells, right? So there's a 7 up here. So one of these will have to be a 7. And together with the 7 here, one of these will have to be a 7 now. But since we know that this must be an 8 or a 9, and these two have to be a 1 and a 6, then that would also make this an 8 or a 9, wouldn't it? Except it can't be an 8 due to this 8 over here. So this must be a 9, this must be a 9, and this must be an 8. Now we might be getting somewhere because now this 9 blocks this cell, this 9 blocks this cell, and that makes this a 9. Just 8 and a 6 for these two cells. Yes, and we can figure those out. I get my first 6 now because we got these two 8s, putting an 8 in this cell, and therefore it can't go here. It must go here, making this our first 6. Yeah. These two cells now have to be a 2 and a 5, and these two will have to be a 1 and a 6. This is going to be a 6 or a 5. Let's see. This one here is going to be a 6 or a 3. Having found so many digits, we still have a few problems left. This is a 6 or a 2. But a 9 here and a 9 here, of course, blocking these 3 cells, and the 9 here blocking this cell in addition. So this is now a 9, a 2, 5, 6, and a 7 for these 4 cells. Now look here, there's a 7 blocking this cell, there's a 7 blocking this cell, so one of these two must be a 7. And that means that this can't be a 7. This can't be a 7 either because of this 7, nor can this be a 7 because of this 7, so we found the 7. And now we just need to find a 1, 6, and a 5 for these 3 cells here. We need a 1, 2, 5, and a 6 for this row here. There's a 2, 5 here, making this a 1, 6. There's a 2, 5 here, making this a 1, 6. So these two are 1, 6 pairs, making this a 2, 5, and this a 2, 5. Except, of course, it can't be a 5. This has got to be a 5 over here. Because we got a 5 here, we got a 5 here, we got a 5 up here. So again, a little unnecessary brain work, but I'll live. This is now a 2. And that makes, because of the 2 here, makes this a 2, right? And this must now be a 2 because we have a 2 up here and here. And now this is the only cell available for a 2. These 2s here now, in combination with the 2s here, forces a 2 to go here. This is now a 6 or a 5, and this is a 6 or a 5. And these are 1 and 6s. Amazing how I can get through so many digits and only finding a single 6 here and a ghost 6 here. And just as I finished that thought, I noticed that the remaining digit in this column is going to be a 6, and that makes this, of course, a 6 and this a 1. And now the one blocking these cells, one of these must be a 1, right? Therefore, the cell up here is a 1. It also happens to be the last digit missing from the row. So that was kind of easy. Now the one blocking this cell puts a 1 in this, and therefore in this. Now we need a 5 and a 6 for these two cells, and I think we are finally cooking because the 5 here forces a 6 to go here and a 5 here, and this is now a 6. Look at all the 6s we get all of a sudden. 6 here, here, and here puts a 6 in this cell, like so. And these are 8 and 9s, right? So this is a 7, and this is a 7, and the other one has got to be a 6. And we've got a 6 in the row already, right? So this is a 7, this is now a 6. This is now a 1, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9, not 8, 9. So if it's not an 8 or a 9, and it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, it's got to be a 6. And this cell down here is going to be a 3. Now this is an 8 or a 9, and this is an 8 or a 9, but there's a 9 in the row already, so the 8 goes here, the 9 here, making this a 9 and this an 8. Finally, the 1 here forces a 1 to go here and the 6 here, and this now must be an 8. Now we're looking at a missing 1, 3 for these two cells. There's a 3 here, so this is a 1, this is a 3, this is a 1, and this up here has got to be a 7, making this a 7, and this now has got to be a 5. I admit that I did struggle a little bit with this puzzle. Maybe it's just because I just had about 2 hours of discussion with a schoolboy about chess and Sudoku. So maybe my mind was a bit tired. Anyway, I do hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did and that you will come back for more soon. Thank you for watching and bye for now.